Hi guys, welcome to a new episode of Talk VL. Another game week, another episode. We are again late, but hopefully from next game week we won't be late anymore. Again, just a reminder for everyone: if you leave down in the comments your players that you break in for this game week, you can get in a chance to win a $100 gift card. Make sure you subscribe, you like the video, and share it and put in the comments which player are you picking for next game week for to enter that draw. And let's get it started. So my first game week hasn't been the greatest, but as long as it's above average, I will take it. I ended up getting 66 points. How was your first week, Kabir?
My first week was decent. Not up to the mark I was expecting. I got 71 points, but I had doubled up on Liverpool defense and they did concede 2 goals, so I was kind of not happy with that. Other than that, everyone else was kind of up to the mark, and I'll say I'm satisfied with game week one and excited to see what game week holds for us.
Yeah, I have so many players who under the delivered for the first game week, not as I expected. The most one that really let me down was Martinez in the keeper position. I really expected him to get the clean sheet for that game. I thought it would have been an easy game,
How good
but
are you?
surprisingly, as many of the new teams in the Premier League, or even some of the older teams, have been showing teeth in the first game week.
Why?
Multiple surprises.
Why?
Liverpool ties to Fulham.
What happened?
Man U loses to Brighton. Aston Villa loses, I believe, was it to Bournemouth?
Mahmoud,
Hmm.
Mahmoud, you need to
Yeah.
restart.
Sorry?
You need to restart
Why?
because I was on mute.
Oh my god.
No, not because of that, but because I was on mute while Jasdeep was talking next to me. But I think the Snagit, the recorder is picking up those sounds still.
Oh my god. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, start in 3 seconds.
Hi guys, welcome to a new episode of Talk BL. Another game week, another episode we have for you guys. Again, we're late, but hopefully from next week we won't be late anymore, and we'll make sure we record it earlier. Again, just a reminder for everyone: if you put the player you got to pick for next week down in the comments, make sure you like and share the video as well, and subscribe to the channel. You can enter the draw to win a $100 gift card at the end of the month. So just let us know which player you're picking for next week, and let's get this started. So Kabir is here with me as well. For the first game week, it wasn't amazing, but as long as it's above average, I would take it, even though this year there seem to be a lot of new players in FPL. So I would think that the average points are below what it used to be. But yeah, for the first game week, there has been multiple players who let me down. Uh, how was your first game week, Kabir?
For me, the game week was okay, I would say. I was a little bit disappointed with Liverpool conceding two, especially because I had doubled up on their defense. I had Allison and Arnold, and both lost their clean sheet plus because they conceded 2 goals, they got a -1 as well. So I was a little bit sad on that part. Other than that, I think everyone was decent. Oh, sorry. I did go with Kane over Haaland with for game week one, and Haaland scored two, whereas Kane did nothing. So those are the three players I'll say was kind of disappointing. Other than that, it was an okay week. I got a total point, like my total accumulated points was 71. So I think that's okay. Um, but hopefully it'll be better for game week two.
Yeah, and yeah, there's multiple players who let me down. On top of that list would be Martinez. I really expected that Aston Villa would get the clean sheet for that game, but if we would put like a title for first game week one, there's a lot of the new teams in the Premier League who just recently got promoted, or even some of the older teams that just about made it, kept stayed in in safe zone last year. We've seen that Man U lost to Brighton 2-1. We've seen Liverpool tying with Fulham 2-2. We're seeing Aston Villa losing to Bournemouth 2-1, I believe, or 2-0.
It was 2-0.
To Neo
Yes.
wasn't expected at all, and yeah, that made my pick for Aston Villa, Liverpool, and Man U players not as expected at all. So yeah, Martinez has been consistent last year. I expect him to get back in form. I expect Aston Villa to generally get back in form, even though their sad performance for first week. Man U, I would honestly try to pick less players out of them because I'm not expecting too much yet. They might take some time until they actually start performing again. Jesus has been having a beautiful preseason, amazing performance, but I still think that he has potential, but he hasn't delivered in the first game week. Bailey also is a great player with a great preseason, but so far no performance. I'm not sure if I would keep him for long enough in the team if he kept underperforming. Same goes for Sancho as well. I might take him off. But for next game week, I decided to take Dalot off just because I've seen him performing last week and he wasn't great at all on the pitch. He wasn't confident at all. You can see that last season is still affecting them. And I picked Ben White because Arsenal's defense looking pretty solid this year. I can see them getting much more clean sheets. I was debating whether I should take Martinez out and replacing him with another keeper, but I needed the money at this point, so I kept him for now. And how's your changes career?
Um, for me, my team is pretty consistent. Let me just share my screen and show you guys what my lineup's gonna look like. So this is my team from last week. I got 71 points. I wish I had Holland contributing 13 points here instead of two. And I expected this to like Arnold and Allison to perform a little bit good. But other than that, everyone was there somewhat. My except Liverpool, every other defender I had did give me a clean sheet, so I'm happy with that. But for next week, I swapped Kane with Holland. That was my plan from before. I did make the swap for while City was playing, so I never lost any money on it. It was a direct 11.5 swap for Kane and Holland. So this is what my team is gonna look like going into game week 2. I did give the captain's armband to Holland because I know, like I believe Salah's gonna score or assist, but I'm hoping that Haaland's gonna outperform Salah for at least for game week 2. For my midfield, I made a swap of Neto and Bailey. I brought in Neto in my starting 11 and took Bailey out. I was not too happy with Aston Villa's performance. So I don't think they'll do great against Everton, considering Everton managing to keep Chelsea at bay. Like they just scored one goal, that was a penalty. Um, but I and Neto did perform decent last week. Like he gave a good cross to Pong, which led to the goal they scored. So hopefully he can perform more. They got a new striker, so if that guy, like if Neto keeps giving those beautiful crosses, he can head couple in. So I'm hoping like he does something, but I bet on him over Bailey at least for game week 2. There was a debate if I wanted to take like if I wanted to keep both Neto and Bailey, then I would have had to take James out. I know it's a risky move considering that they're facing Tottenham. I do think Tottenham's going to score a couple, but then again, James has more chance of doing that one assist over Neto and Bailey. Again, my opinion. If you guys think otherwise, let me know. But I do think James is more of a, like attacking minded, so he'll be going more upfront, making those crosses, cutting in. So he might get that assist here and there. So I'm going with five back this week as well. So 5-3-2. Haaland captain, Neto in midfield instead of Bailey. And hopefully Liverpool performs this week. Liverpool maintains a clean sheet. Then I do expect a good outcome if my defense can hold on. So yeah, that's my lineup going into game week 2. I'm gonna throw you a question. I don't know if it's too early to answer this question, but do you have any transfer in your mind for game week 3? I'll answer the question first, and then maybe we can hear from you on what's your take on it. Going into game week 3, Trippier is facing Man City. So I'm considering swapping him with either Kupera or Kyle Walker. If I don't want to do that and put Trippier in bench instead, then I'm gonna take Bailey out and bring alternate maybe Dewsbury Hall from Leicester as my starting 11 instead of Bailey. Again, Bailey had a phenomenal preseason, but they weren't up to the mark in last week, and I think they'll need some time to go there again. But if they keep performing not well, if game week 2 is not decent for him, he's definitely going out for me. Oh, how about you?
For me, Sancho would be definitely my next transfer if he underperforms next week. I don't see him worth the 7.5 out of my money for his current performance. I would rather save it and have two players for 6 million each, and later on swap Bailey for another player for 6 million. Depends on the performance, but for now, definitely Sancho would be the first player to swap out if he doesn't perform this game week.
So Dalot out this week and Sancho for the next week. Are you scared? Where do you think Man U's ending up this season?
I'm definitely not confident right now, but I can see them building the game much better. I'm not confident in defense and the midfield yet. I can see that they're gonna deliver better in the attack once Ronaldo starts, and also once Van de Beek starts instead of Fred. I can see much more improvement. If Eric Ten Hag still believes in Maguire, I don't see the defense being fixed anytime soon. That's why Dalot had to leave. Sancho, I am not sure honestly about him. He hasn't been showing any consistent performance since he joined Man U. Some people are debating whether he actually a player that suits the toughness and the tough game of the Premier League, or if he just should go back to the Bundesliga at this point.
That's a big statement. I think Sancho's a pretty good player. I just feel like Man U as a whole is they're just not clicking at this point. Like if you look at the individual performances, I think they're there. Like considering Premier League, they're not phenomenal, but they're performing somewhat okay. But as a team, they have been miserable. So that's a strong word, but yeah, they need a lot of work. There's a You made a good point that Van de Beek in mid. What do you think about Varane starting with Maguire and centre back, and Lisandro Martinez taking over the CDM position and make space for one CDM, two center midfielders being Bruno Fernandes and Ericsson, and they can deliver those balls to Ronaldo. What do you think?
I honestly believe that Maguire hasn't delivered enough in the first game to show that he's worth staying. There's still a lot of mistakes happening. I see him more confident with building the game. But again, when the quick counter attacks comes against Man U, the midfield and the defense can't stand it. So I believe Man U needs to do some transfers before the 3 week end for the transfer market, and yeah, that's their last resort at this point.
Um, Fair enough. Fair enough. One last question. With all this thing going on in Man U, Ronaldo wanting to leave, and Rashford being linked to PSG, where do you see Man U ending up in this season? Do you think, I think Newcastle will have like finish in a higher position than Man U.
I believe in the Man U gonna try to sign some players, hopefully soon, hopefully in January as well. We can see some new faces, some new build-up. I can see that Eric Ten Hag, everybody can see he has got this team to have a better build-up of the play. There's still not enough to show, but at least if it was for the game build-up, we can see that Manu is much more confident with the quick passes, the direct passes between players. You can see it much smoother than it used to be last season. Also in the back, even Maguire, you can see him much more confident building the game. So I see the hope. I think they will end up in the top five for sure.
Top five. Who are you taking out from top five to put Man U there?
I don't think Tottenham will survive through the entire season consistently.
That's a big statement there.
Yeah, I think they don't have the character to keep going.
Oh, that'll be an interesting word to get back to in the end of the season, I think, because I have a complete different opinion with Tottenham. I see them finishing third behind Liverpool and City.
Especially with them playing in the Premier League and Champions League, I don't think they can
But don't you
survive
think they have a
both
pretty
at the
decent
top level.
squad depth?
I still think they needed a better team B, if we can call, similar to what City has, and somewhat Liverpool, even though Liverpool has been lacking in their transfers as well, especially in the midfield.
I think
Uh,
they have a pretty decent one. Like they bought Richarlison from Everton. They bought uh, Bissouma. I don't know if I'm saying his name correct from Brentford. They bought some good wingbacks. They bought Perisic. They bought a backup keeper. They bought a couple of center backs. Um, they did a whole bunch of transfers this season. Do you think they're not like up to the mark to be a B team?
we'll have to wait and watch, but I think once they play in the Champions League and change their players that they're playing with for in the Premier League, I don't think they're gonna be an A team. I think they're gonna show similar to what Chelsea had last year. Um, I think we're gonna see a similar scenario to what Chelsea had last year. Consistent delivery until Champions League starts and starts kicking in. Yeah, I think only City and potentially Liverpool can handle the Champions League and the Premier League going in together.
And who do you back to win the league?
City for sure. They seem pretty clear at this point.
Okay, we can definitely agree to that because with Thiago injured, I think Liverpool is missing that, those crucial pass that Thiago makes until as they sign someone with a similar character and skills. I don't see them challenging City for the league as well. So it'll be interesting to see. Especially one more thing that we have to consider this season is World Cup. That's gonna stop the league halfway through. So with all these players, like most of the players going for World Cup, do you think that affects it, like in terms of our when to use our chips and like wild card, free hit? Do you think?
It'll be pretty interesting. We'll see a lot of players how the World Cup would affect them, whether they would be distracted by it or whether they would be motivated by it. It has a different effect on all the players. We'll see. We'll see. Some players might be their head always in the Premier League, like Salah, since he's not playing in the World Cup. We'll see some players who might get distracted by the World Cup, and especially the players that has the potential to actually compete for it, like Ronaldo, for example. We can see a lot of distractions out there.
Do you think all the saga that's happening with Ronaldo and Man U could affect Ronaldo's mental state going into World Cup?
I think we still have enough time to work it out. I think I can see that he's starting to get his head in the game. I don't know if he's still in talks with any other clubs. I see him focusing on Manu at the point at the moment. I see him staying, but only next this game week is what to tell tomorrow. We'll see if he starts and how is he gonna perform.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, with just less than what 8 hours left for Premier League transfer window to close, I think we have a pretty decent lineup to go into game week two. Um, if if you were to make those extra change, do you think it's too early to take that -4 to make a double change, or you just stay satisfied with one free transfer this week?
Yeah, especially that we don't have enough clear stats so far. I wouldn't go for the double minus unless you know exactly who you're looking for. Let's say if you're trying to fit on Holland or Salah, and you have been bidding on players that you think there's no hope out of them, then it might be worth it for the longer run. Especially these players, their price is going to keep going up. But I wouldn't recommend it at all. It's a big risk at this point because we don't have enough stats. Maybe the player that you're gonna take gonna get injured next week. Maybe they're not gonna perform as expected next week. Maybe the player that you're gonna take out is gonna perform next week. We have only one game out to judge on, and let's wait, I guess.
Okay, so before we wrap up, one last question for you. If you had enough fun to just take one player between Salah and Holland, who would you back?
At the moment, I will back up Haaland just because City tend to have a better scoring stats and also chance making. But also Salah with his consistency, I see him continuing to deliver. Haaland hasn't proved himself in the big games yet with City, so we'll have to wait for that as well. So yeah, for me, I would take the risk on Haaland, but if I were to recommend to someone else, I would tell him to take the safe bet with Salah. And before we wrap, I have actually a question for you. Who would you captain for this game week?
I'm going with Haaland captain. I do see Salah scoring at least a goal or an assist, but expecting Haaland to outperform Salah at least for game week two.
Hmm,
How about you?
that's a good pick. I'm captaining Salah again, just going for the safe bet here. Uh, yeah, I think Crystal Palace has not been solid enough. They lost their first game. And I think with Liverpool coming out of a tie, they'll be motivated to do something in their game.
Okay, and how confident are you with your team? Do you have an idea of what the total score you're trying to achieve this week?
Honestly, not super confident with my team. There's a lot of risk being taken here. Could really go either or. I'm aiming for just above average again, I would say. But yeah, I can already see some tough games out there. Arsenal, Leicester. It's gonna affect me with three players from Arsenal. Same goes for you as well.
Yeah.
It's not an easy game for Arsenal for sure. Same for James and Tottenham, Chelsea and Tottenham game. It's a tough game as well. And so yeah, I don't see this game week to be a game changer. if I end up being a bit above average, would be okay results for me as well.
Fair enough. I have a contradictory opinion. I think I'm pretty confident with my team, considering all my players except Trippier are playing home. And again, my like I have a contradictory opinion about the fixture between Arsenal and Leicester. I think Arsenal is going to outperform Leicester by miles, and it's a matter of who's getting the points. I hope my players do, but it'll be interesting to see the game tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you guys for watching. It's been a pleasure. And again, just a reminder, don't forget to comment the players you're picking for next week for a chance to win a $100 gift card. And yeah, that's it pretty much for me.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Mahmoud, for making the time. Thank you all to all the viewers for watching this video. If you do want to watch more videos like this, do like and subscribe. We're going to post at least one video and try to post that at least 24 hours before transfer deadline. But if we see some eye-catching transfer happening here and there, we'll definitely create those random shorter videos just to give you an update on what you can do with those players. And one last thing before we wrap it up, like Mahmoud mentioned at the beginning of this video, that leave a comment on what transfer you're making this weekend, maybe drop a screenshot of what your team looks like, and at the end of each month we're going to do a random draw, and whoever is the winner gets $100 gift card. We are located in Canada, so it could be in Canadian dollars. If it's someone from states, then we'll try to do that like a state USD dollars, but we'll do it at the end of each month. We're going to take the names from comments, and hopefully you keep liking our videos, and we'll provide you with more such contents. Thank you, everyone, and hope everyone has a great game week too.
All right, see you guys. Thank you.